Greetings. In today's LightCast, I am taking a walk down a memory lane. I may come to regret this, but I ran across my 11th grade philosophy of life paper, and I'm going to share it. This idea of conscious creator is just becoming aware that you can't not be. Of course you are. Like, I know that you're a spiritual being. Your spirituality is unique to you. It's specifically yours. And you're robbing all the rest of us from having the experience of you.
Yes.
Please don't rob us. What if you are one of those one rare beings that has something very different, very special, and very unique to bring into the world? Once you become fully embodied, fully aware, fully focused, you make a difference. Consciousness underlies everything. You are a creator. You are participating in the creation of everything that you're experiencing. What are you going to do with that? For 16 years, I have silently watched the people around me. My parents, my teachers, my peers, and others have all displayed qualities and morals and shared ideas that I admired. An accumulation of these ideas is what I base my philosophy on. After all, people learn from their experiences of human interaction. My philosophy is this. My life is a blank, clean, white canvas. It has no mark on it that I have not applied with the strokes of my brush. Since I am the painter of my life portrait, I choose the colors, the lines, the patterns, the consistencies, and the meaning of the painting. Just as the canvas represents my life, the colors I choose represent my qualities, my morals, my ideas, and my actions. Patterns and consistencies represent my strength in upholding my values. I will be the only person who can decipher the true meaning of my art. First of all, I will cover my canvas with a rich layer of sky blue. Then I will add a touch of turquoise. Mauve will accent the edges of my portrait. Purple dots will span the canvas, and an incandescent fire will burn in the center. The sky blue layer that will first be applied to my canvas displays the fact that I want to be consistent, dependable, honest, and there for anyone always. I hope to always stand by my morals and ideas to the end. If they are truly my morals and ideas that I have thought out, then they deserve to be defended at all costs. I will strive to consistently uphold them. For example, in class discussions, I try to always give my opinion, even if the entire class goes against what I say. I will still confidently tell them what I think and why. I feel that consistency in what a person says and does denotes a strong character. In addition, I want to be solidly dependable. People should always know that I am there for them and will always do what I can to step in and help them if they need it. At work, I will always try to fill in for people when they ask, just as I would expect the same from them. At school, I will always try to help my peers with any problems that they have, whether it be with their school, home, or social life. I once talked with a friend for 2 hours late at night because I thought that I might be able to help them, and I feel proud that I tried, even if I did not succeed. One last quality that my blue layer represents is honesty. If I am not honest, then I cannot prove myself to be dependable, consistent, or helpful. It is very important that I remain honest, especially to myself. I will aspire to tell the truth even if it hurts, because I feel that it is important to have a clean conscience. Above the sky blue layer, I will texture the canvas with turquoise accomplishments. It is important to me that I succeed in life. If I have not made a difference somehow, then I have done everything for nothing. I must make an impact simply for my own gratification. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the reward of a thing well done is to have done it. This type of accomplishment is what I want. I want to know that I stand out in a crowd because of my achievements. Examples of my turquoise texture are my trips to State UIL, my attendance at TGHP, my involvement in school organizations, and my participation in social and family activities. Anytime that I have the opportunity to impact the life of another in a positive way, I will take full advantage of that opportunity, adding another turquoise texture. Around the sky, blue, and turquoise, I will paint a layer of mauve. This represents my strength and stability. There will be many times that will try my soul, but I must be very strong and stable. I will not allow anyone or anything to hurt me. Only I can damage my canvas. I am reminded of the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your permission. I believe this to be true. My feelings are very important to me, and I will voice them, but others will not affect them. I will stand as an individual at all costs. Later in life, after the achievement of each dream and aspiration of mine, I will add one purple dot to my portrait. I will attend college, have a successful career, be married, have children, donate to charities, travel the world, and be happy. Each achievement will be represented by a purple dot. Finally, in the center of my canvas, I will have an incandescent burning fire. This will represent my spirit. I will aspire to attend church, and I leave the faith of my entire life in God's hands. This will be the most important aspect of my life, so I place it in the center of my artwork. Without God, nothing can be achieved. I will try to live the way He wants me to, and do what I think is right in all situations. I know that I will be tempted at some point or another to do things that I know are wrong, but I would rather die than indulge. I also want to be a person who is at peace with himself. I hope to always have time to think and reflect. I hope I have the strength to live by what I have written. The things that I say I will do or try to do are what I know I should. Whether or not I will do them, I can only hope that I will. So far, I think that I've done pretty well at not conforming and being consistent, strong, and successful. But I know that I must continue to get better at everything I do. In conclusion, I am reminded of an old English proverb that is a major source of my philosophy. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. So I'm sure that anyone watching this can relate. It can be a very strange thing to revisit something that you've written long ago, especially something entitled Philosophy of Life. I'm going to flash the cover artwork for this is, of course, one of my first publications in life. But I definitely put together some clip art and made a representative image for the cover of it. It's just really interesting to look back upon that from where I currently stand in the evolution of my consciousness and remember where I was at that time and what I had going on around me at that time. And to notice that there are actually some nuggets of wisdom in that young person's way of seeing the world. And there are some things expressed in that philosophy of life that are still a part of my current worldview. And so I also start to ask the question, what are the aspects of me, or what is the essence of me at a higher level that may actually transcend even the themes of this incarnation? So some of that may be in there. But interestingly, I also, as I'm reading it, I take an emotional hit when I read certain parts of it, because obviously you have a young person there that was very emotionally guarded. I think in a couple of places I suggested that I wouldn't let anyone reach me, and that's kind of sad. Interestingly, later in life, I arrived at a point where I was completely open to being reached, and maybe some advice I would give now to young Jared is to allow himself to be hurt. I think one of the great teachers, the founder of the Gene Keys system, Richard Rudd, said that nothing can wound a healed heart. And so first you have to let your heart be broken so then it can be healed. And then you obviously are more emotionally mature. And interestingly, in the Gene Key synthesis, in the Venus sequence, in the sphere of the EQ, which is your emotional intelligence, which represents the development between the age of 7 and 14. So this document was written just a little bit after that, maybe a year after 14. So I think I was 15 when I wrote that. But the gene key that I have in the EQ sphere is the 46, and the spectrum of that gene key moves from seriousness to ecstasy, and it's the pathway of delight. And I was serious. I became serious, and I think that because of my humble beginnings and because I was a strange character in that place where I grew up, and I had kind of dealt with being that different outsider, I kind of got serious so that I could prove myself in life, prove that I was worthy, and then as I aspired to build this idea of a big, successful, stable life from that sort of guarded, serious place. And so it's interesting to read this philosophy of life document and feel the sort of heaviness and the weight of the seriousness of that shadow. And then interestingly, in the evolution of my own experience later in life, I have experienced profound delight and ecstasy. And so I viscerally know the full spectrum of that gene key. I don't know if the young person who wrote that document could have heard me when I would say, "Don't be so serious." And I'm actually quite sure that people told me not to be so serious, and I didn't pay any attention to them, and I just had my own experience anyway. And I have this intuition that it's all just part of my journey, so it is what it is. Another layer I'd like to add to the contemplation for this episode is to begin to think about the relationship I have with my past and the relationship that we each have with our past. And it can be really easy to get caught in the pattern of shaming yourself for past events, behavior, situations. Be easy about it. Cherish the good moments that you remember from your past. Don't focus so much on the hard memories. And if you do kind of recall a hard memory, as much as possible, try to be graceful with yourself and endow that memory with a high vibe energy so that you can kind of uplift yourself. Most of us can say, in most situations, we were doing the best we could with what we had in the place where we were. And so that's my advice about the past. Don't conjure it up if it feels too hard. Give yourself some space, breathe, reflect on the positive stuff. I think that's a good thing. So one more layer of treat. I don't know if it's a treat or not. Maybe this is self-indulgent, but I think what I'm just trying to demonstrate is kind of the idea of archiving and thinking about the past, archiving memories, and then learning from and then reflecting on the difference between the past and the now. But I also ran across a video of my 8th grade graduation speech. And so I'm going to close out this episode of the LightCast by sharing that so that you can have a good laugh at my expense for, again, my seriousness. And then also you'll notice how very Southern and country I sound. And I guess I don't really remember how deliberate I was about trying to not sound so much like a Texan, because now I think I perceive that I sound less like a Texan, but surely I did sound like one back then. So enjoy this. Thanks for joining me.
Good evening. I would like to start by saying that I'm extremely honored to be able to represent this year's graduating class as valedictorian. Ladies and gentlemen, I have found that nothing is impossible to a willing heart. If you have accomplished all that you had planned in life, then you have not planned enough. I think that I speak on behalf of all of us when I say that by being here tonight, we all have one less goal yet to achieve. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "You must do what you can with what you have, where you are." We are fortunate because we have the best parents, friends, and teachers, and we are at the best school. As for those times of trial and tribulation, I can only say that they are an everyday part of life. But just remember, a kite rises and continues to fly against the wind, not with it. Theodore Roosevelt also said, "It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbled. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, who knows great enthusiasms, great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who knows at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. The class of 2000 will know victory. Each day, God gives us 86,400 seconds. I am proud to have used just a few of those to speak to you this evening. Thank you.